LeBron is on top of the playoffs in a lot of rankings, playing 43 minutes a game. The second round, he's second in the league in minutes, but first in efficiency rating, also fourth in assists. A remarkable playoff so far. For more stats, go to NBA.com stats with insights from SAP. LeBron's plan turned that 0-2 to an 0-3 against the Toronto Raptors. Isaiah LeBron putting up historic numbers so far in this postseason. You had the Jordan rules with your team back in the day. What would be some LeBron rules if you had to put them out there now?
You know, Smitty and I was talking about this in the back, and it's really difficult to come up with double team him every single time because his first tendency really is to pass the ball and to get his teammates involved, and he gets such pleasure and enjoyment out of helping his teammates. You know, Jordan's first option was to score. His second option was to score. His third option was to score. And he was, you know, one of the greatest scorers of all time. So when you double team a Jordan, right, he could make tough shots against a double team. LeBron James, if you double teaming him, it's almost like double teaming Magic Johnson, who's looking to assist, who's looking to pass the ball, who's looking to be creative, and who's looking to help others. I'm not sure what you do with him because you can't double team him every time. You got to give him different looks because he's so smart.
You know, Isaiah said it best. You're just not going to stop him, Isaiah. I think you kind of play the percentages. He's not as comfortable at the free throw line, even though he's had better free throw percentage throughout these playoffs in the first round. Struggled a little bit in the second round, so maybe you throw a lot of bodies and foul him. But I think also, Isaiah, for me, is great players like yourself, Isaiah just can't be resting on the defensive end, and I think that's what he's doing right now.
Yeah.
OG Anunoby, I love the young fella. He competes, but if you watch LeBron, he's standing there. Hey, Zeke, watch that screen. Watch that pick. All he knows is he has to build out into the corner for OG Anunoby. So I think it has to be DeRozan at the 2, C.J. Miles at the 3, where at least if he's checking C.J. Miles, you're not going to be standing here. You got to come off screens, and also DeRozan. And I think DeRozan has to guard him the meat of the game because that's when you have two great players going at each other. It'll get DeRozan going, I think, himself.
Yeah. Well, you mentioned DeMar DeRozan sat out the entire fourth quarter of that pivotal Game 3. Look, he's their best player, their star, was not guarding LeBron James on that final game-winning shot. Was that a mistake by Dwayne Casey? Would you have liked to see DeMar DeRozan come back at least late in that game, even if he sat a lot of those fourth quarter minutes?
You know, coaches obviously have got to coach by feel and give Toronto a lot of credit. Without DeRozan, they made a run. I just think I got to go to my guy around that 2-minute mark, Isaiah. Maybe the meat of the game, you just didn't play him because they got him back in the game. I don't know if I could have set him the entire fourth quarter. Around that 2-minute mark, I got to roll the dice with my best player.
Yeah, and your best player should understand, and the team would understand, that you can't put the backup in and say, win the game for me. Now, you can put the backup in and say, get us back in the game.
Okay.
Right? But then you got to come back to the home run hitter and say, win the game for us. And if the home run hitter strikes out, okay, we good with that. And if the home run hitter misses, okay, we good with that. But you can't have the backup taking the swing and missing, because then the team, the city, everybody's divided on it. So now what you've done is you put a lot of stuff into the equation that shouldn't be into the equation, and I think DeRozan should have been in at the end.
Well, Kevin Love has been performing at a very high level. 50 points, 17 rebounds in the last 2 games. During the regular season against Toronto, he averaged 22 and 13. So here's a guy really finding his rhythm. How important is that for Cleveland if and when they advance, getting him to find his momentum?
I think Kevin Love is the most important player on their team. You know, LeBron James is going to be LeBron James. But when Kevin Love shows up and he plays at the level that he's capable of playing, that really does take the Cavaliers to another level. And we saw that the last couple of years in the championship games and the finals. When Love struggled, you know, the Cavaliers struggled. But when Love was on top of his game, rebounding and shooting, then Cleveland, you know, they went to another level. And when he's playing like this and he's scoring the basketball, he's rebounding the basketball, he makes it easier for LeBron James because he and the mitten, Kyle Korver, I mean, they are 2 knockdown three-point shooters, and they're smart enough defensively, keyword, they're smart enough defensively not to get themselves into trouble and follow the coach's game plan.
You know, I think after game one, they gave Kevin Love his rhythm. They took Serge out of the lineup. And so now you see in all these clips, he's ended up with DeRozan, Kyle Lowry, C.J. Miles, small guys, or he has Valanciunas. And he's smart enough, Isaiah, saying, well, you put one of these little guys on me like Chris, I'm going to bang him.
Right.
Even if I don't make shots, I get a rhythm. Yeah. I'm touching it. And then obviously with Valanciunas, I'm going out here to make him have to run inside and out. Even though Serge wasn't playing well, I thought you should have stayed with a guy, Serge. You can play him here and outside. Yeah. And if Serge doesn't score and Kevin's not scoring, to Isaiah's point, we don't need Serge scoring. I think LeBron and the Cavs need Kevin Love to be that second option
100%.
To advance.
Yeah.
Your whole breakdown sounds like you could have been talking about Kevin Durant because he was spectacular as well, taking advantage of every matchup.
No, I wasn't talking about Kevin Durant and Kevin Love in the same. No, I wasn't doing that.
No matter who it is, they got the business
they
on
both
Sunday night.
Kevin, but they ain't got the same game.
Testing. Back in the playoffs, baby. Let's go.
Everybody at NBA